The Magnolia State's most trusted statewide news source. 24 hours. News Mississippi.
The battle over education funding is still going on at the state capitol today, and Chip Ward has been following that story. Chip, where are they now in the process?
Well, Courtney, as you may know, there's going to be Initiative 42 on the ballot this year. Mississippians will go out and vote for it. And the Mississippi House has proposed an alternative on that vote. So basically what this means is when you go to the polls, instead of answering yes or no to the question, should the state be required to provide for the support of an adequate and efficient system of free public schools, instead they'll be deciding on that, or something that might sound like, shall the legislature be required to provide for the establishment, maintenance, and support of an effective system of free public schools, or they can vote against both of them. Now, what that does when you have an alternative vote is it makes it so one of the initiative will have to have 40% of the vote to pass. Now, Republicans say that the alternative is meant to keep the decision out of the courts. So instead of a judge deciding what's adequate funding, the legislature decides that. And it's actually not going to prevent it from being in the courts, because today a Hinds County Chancery judge will be hearing arguments in a court case for funding MAUP that was filed by Governor Ronnie Musgrove. Now, opponents to the alternative that was voted on, they say that Mississippi Adequate Education Program should be fully funded and lawmakers should be forced by a judge to fully fund it. And again, yesterday on the House floor, Democrats were saying that the alternative was only presented to confuse voters. Now, the bill was held on a motion to reconsider, but today that motion failed, and now the Senate is going to take a look at it, and there is expected to be debates for it to clear the Senate too.
All right, and we'll bring more as that continues. Thanks, Chip.
All right, thanks.
And the day a child is born is a pretty amazing thing, but how is it different when a child is born behind bars? Mom still has to go into lockdown after the baby is born, so what happens next? Well, News Mississippi spoke with the nurse with MDOC, and she said that guardianship papers are signed the first day of prenatal care. Now, that means that the mother gets to pick who takes the baby. There have only been a couple of cases in the past several years where a child went into foster care because the family could not take the child. News Mississippi is investigating this not only to find out where the babies go next, but what it could be costing the taxpayers. And some neglected and abused horses from Copiah County have made an amazing comeback. That full story at newsms.fm. With the News Mississippi Daily Digital, I'm Courtney Carter.